Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm bringing you a really exciting video about 10 sustainable ways that you can change your zero waste living transition. So they're basically just trying to help you in really easy and small ways to be a little bit more sustainable in your everyday life without having to feel like you're giving up a lot of stuff or, you know, being too difficult. We do focus a lot on food in the zero waste movement, and really there are so many other things that we can focus on. So today I'm going to give you 10 easy sustainable swaps that hopefully you can start implementing straight away. So the first one is a super easy one, and that's just to switch your search engine to one that doesn't just benefit you but also benefits the planet, and that search engine is Ecosia. If you haven't heard of Ecosia yet, I don't know where you've been living. I've been using it for a really long time now, and I actually got in touch with them and asked them if they'd like to collaborate with me, and they have. So this is sponsored by Ecosia, and it's really exciting because it's an organic sponsorship. I got in touch with them because I truly believe in what they're doing, and I think that they are an amazing company. They're a really small social business made up of dedicated people, and they're 100% transparent. So when you go onto their search engine after you've installed it, which I really suggest that you do, then you can see all their receipts, you know, where their money's going, how they're helping the planet, and why they are a much better choice than other search engines. Why I think they're so good is because what they do with the ad revenue that we generate through our searches is they plant trees. And you might think, you know, I don't understand what the best thing about planting trees is, but there are 6 main things that are incredibly important. One is cooling the planet, or cooling the climate, because trees create these wonderful kind of clouds that act as a barrier, which means that it cools our climate down. And the more trees that we have, the more we're going to protect ourselves from global warming. You've got obviously biodiversity. Forests are some of the most biodiverse systems that we have on this planet. You've got soil protection, you've got clean air, happy people, and water security. If you, like me, live in a place like London where you don't have to worry about water security, you don't have to worry about clean air, then you're incredibly lucky. But there are hundreds of millions of people around the world that do have to worry about these things. And trees directly help to clean air by absorbing those polluting gases and projecting out oxygen for us to breathe. And of course, forests help to regulate water systems. You know, they help to prevent floods, and they help to create successful water cycles. So they're incredibly important. So I want you guys, this is the easiest switch that you could possibly do. I'm going to put a link down below so you can go and put Ecosia as your default search engine, and I'm going to do a giveaway for the person who's done the most searches on Ecosia, because every 45 searches roughly that you kind of search, it means that you've planted at least 1 tree. So for every 45 searches, you've got 1 tree, and for the person who does the most amount of searches, I am going to be doing a giveaway, and I'm going to be doing that on Instagram, so make sure you watch out for that in a couple of weeks. And also, this is just the easiest possible sustainable swap, you know, something that we do every day for a company that are incredible, transparent and hardworking, and are actually a company that care about the climate, unlike so many others that just could not give 2 shits. Moving on quickly to number 2, and that is to simply shop less. Consuming less means that you're producing less waste in not only in the stuff that you have in your house, but also in production. Production is where 95% of the waste happens before you've even bought that item. Then you have that item, you dispose of that item, and then what happens to it afterwards, you don't know. Even if you recycle it, it still produces a lot of waste. So simply by cutting back, consuming less, you're doing a wonderful thing. And number 3 is to choose second-hand fashion or ethical fashion. Now, I have just said consume less, but second-hand shopping means that you are creating and engaging in a circular economy. It means that you're taking stuff that's already produced in the world and giving it a new life. Ethical fashion, yes, I am a big proponent of that, even though that does mean that it's a linear economy. But at the same time, most ethical fashion companies not only are producing ethically made clothing that helps local communities and puts money back into those communities, but they also tend to donate largely to charity, and they actually care about the people that they're working with. So it's great for creating jobs, and it's great for the people who just can't stomach buying secondhand clothes. Yes, There are lots of people like that, and that's okay. You know, there are also underwear people. I wouldn't buy secondhand underwear, so you probably wouldn't buy secondhand underwear, or if you do, obviously that's fine, more power to you. But there are some things that some people don't want to buy secondhand, and that's okay. Number 4 is to opt for planet-friendly materials. I think that bamboo is really great, but turns out not so great. Ethical Unicorn, who is a wonderful blogger and actually has just done a wonderful conversation started a wonderful conversation about intersectionality in her latest post, so you should definitely check her out. I'll put a link down below. But she says that hemp is definitely the best one to use, and there is actually a company called Bohempia in Prague. That's a wonderful company. They use very, very, very eco-friendly kind of manufacturing ways to create their shoes and their t-shirts. And also they are helping build local economy, and they are manufacturing everything in the Czech Republic to make sure that they're giving local people jobs. So they're a great company if you're interested in buying shoes that you can't find any secondhand, that you don't particularly want. But I'm going to leave a link down below to all the best materials. But hemp is definitely the most friendly. Organic cotton's still quite good, and there's another one called I can't remember, but I'll put them down below so you can go and check out more about them. But just in general, opt for more planet-friendly materials. Number 5 is to extend your secondhand range to also like tech stuff. Use sites like eBay and even companies like Wex, who also sell secondhand tech stuff, if that's what you're up for, to buy stuff. Because when it comes to especially technology, everything that goes into a camera or a lens or a computer or a phone, it takes so many different resources to make that one item. There are so many different minerals that are mined from all across the world that also are incredibly unethical. You need to watch Kristen Leo's video on why she's not buying the iPhone 10, because it shows you just how unethical mining just one component of some of these things are. So I will always opt for trying to buy secondhand camera gear. I'm actually filming on a secondhand lens right now that I bought from a friend who no longer needed that. And that's a really great way. Check with your friends first if they have anything, especially if you have other friends who are into photography or into YouTube, filming, anything like that. Check with them first if they have something before you buy something new. And it meant that I could buy this lens for a hell of a lot cheaper. It's still in great nick and it didn't go to waste. Number 6, if you're no longer a fan of plastic Tupperware because you think, because it leaches into your food, there are other things that you can do with it instead of simply throwing it away. Of course, you can donate your plastic Tupperware, or actually you can repurpose it and use it for things like storing dried goods that's not going to leach in, like dried beans or pulses or pasta, anything like that. Or you can just completely take it away from the food sphere and you can put like wires and stuff like that. I often use my old plastic Tupperwares to keep, there's so many bloody wires, to keep my wires in one place, so it's so much easier to keep a track of them and to understand where they are and just keep them all in one place. So you can repurpose them for stuff that's not food if you no longer want to use those for storing hot food and stuff like that. Number 7 is to consider doing a no spend challenge like I have. This will really help you to reevaluate the stuff that you need in your house, or the stuff that you waste your money on, or anything like that. It really helps you to consume less, especially if you're having a hard time, with my tip number 2, which is just to consume as little as possible. This is a really great way of understanding in your mind what stuff you really do need, what stuff you can really give up, and stuff that is just a complete waste of your money, time, resources, and all of that good stuff. Number 8 is to start making your own furniture, or repurposing stuff that you find on the street. I recently hung out with Blue Ollis. You should check her out if you don't know who she is. And her entire living room pretty much is made up of repurposed items. She found loads of stuff on the street that she just decided to sand, like her coffee table, for example. She sanded it down herself and got rid of the kind of lacquer that was on the outside and then painted it over. And now it's just a really beautiful handmade item that looks as though she bought it from some cool trendy shop. So making stuff yourself is a really, really good idea. And you don't even have to be that handy. Like YouTube is a really great place to find the stuff that the information that you need to make the stuff. And also Especially where I live, like around Peckham, there are so many pallets that are just lying around. And there's so much you can do with old pallets, especially if you just sand them down. You could even make your own kind of wooden compost heap as well. You can do anything with it, or create those really cool like side tables that everyone has, like Maddie from Madeline Livia. So many people have these really cool side tables, and you could so easily make them yourself. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of concentration, and you know, what's the word, kind of determination to get it done, but it's a really great way. Number 9 is to eat seasonally. So if you can go to farmers markets instead of shopping at supermarkets, then you're going to be so much more in tune with actually what's been grown in your own country and eating according to the weather. Eating seasonally is a really simple one. It's just kind of trying to understand, but obviously you have to deal with what you have available to you. Lots of you might live in a food desert, lots of you might not have access to farmers markets, you know, and so another easy swap maybe is to go to a supermarket and actually just look on the labels to see where they were produced. So even if they aren't necessarily what you'd call a winter fruit or vegetable, if they're made in your country, then that's going to be so much better than something that you've had to ship across the world. But of course, this all depends on what you have available to you, so do with that what you may. And number 10 is to start using your kitchen gadgets in a multifaceted way. So instead of buying a food processor and a juicer and a blender, start trying to find ways to actually just collaborate all these things. I now just have a blender, and to be honest, it does all the things that a food processor would. It does all the things that, you know, a juicer would. You can just combine these things into one and try and use a lot of similar things, essentially. You don't have to have all of these different gadgets and all of these different things. You can just find one thing that also you can use in many different ways. And I mean, that can be extended to so many things. I think also borrowing is a really great way of being a bit more sustainable. For example, the makeup that I'm wearing on my face, like I don't really own that much makeup anymore. So I just borrowed some from my mum for today, just so I could look a bit nicer in the video. And you know, I have a tripod here with my microphone on, and I borrowed that from someone at work because I didn't want to go out and buy one that I didn't necessarily know that I would need. I borrow stuff from my friends all the time, and I'm always lending them stuff. It's so much nicer if you kind of like borrow stuff than going out and buying it new specifically for one thing. So that goes back to the kitchen stuff. We do have a food processor that we were given secondhand by my sister's partner who didn't need it anymore. But you know, if she needs it, she can take it back. Like, it's great to just lend and borrow for particular things. Like, we definitely used that food processor for one thing that we needed, and now we don't really use it anymore. So if someone else needs it, we can give it to them, or we can just give it back, or we can, you know, keep borrowing, keep using that cycle. Anyway, those are my 10 sustainable swaps. If you have any more, please leave them down below. And again, go and check out Ecosia, because they are a wonderful, wonderful small social business. And I fully support everything that they're doing. Remember, I am going to do a giveaway for the person who gets the most searches and plants the most trees. So let's get going, and I think it's going to be so exciting to see how many trees as a community we can all plant together. Isn't that so much nicer, thinking about how we can plant trees together just by searching things on the internet? Some days when I'm bored at work, I'll literally just go onto Ecosia and be like, let's just do lots of random Ecosiaing and searching just to see, you know, how many trees I can plant. Anyway, I'll be posting how many trees I've planted as well at the end, and I think hopefully we can all do this together, and it will be a really exciting thing for us to do as a community. So if you like this very long video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.